usually about something in the news, sometimes the culture. Anyway, good to be here. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to turn the camera around right now so you can watch me draw something. Let's see. So I was thinking about, I really didn't want to draw. I'm afraid this is going to drop. Sorry, I have to adjust my device here. I didn't want to draw. There's a lot of news going on, and I didn't really want to draw about Trump today, and I'm not. But I wanted to draw about something in the news anyway. Hi, John. John is a supporter of mine, and he's in Rockville, Maryland, and he came over here. He found out about HAPS News and my work here through Instagram. Hi, Pablo. Hi, Mark. HAPS is a great new platform for live streaming news and events, and I'm here to draw for you and talk about the news. So please ask me any questions that you like, or comment on something that I'm talking about. I'm happy to have a dialogue when I'm not drawing. I mean, I talk when I draw. So anyway, I wanted to draw about this. I wanted to draw about this a while ago, but I didn't get around to it. Was the runoff elections in Georgia and how important they are for the Democrats. And so I'm going to draw both Reverend Ralph Warnock and John Ossoff, who are both running a runoff election next month. And they ran in November, but they did not get more than 50% of the vote. Neither did their opponents. So Ralph Warnock is running against Kelly Loeffler, who was appointed to her seat by Governor Kemp back when an older senator decided to leave office. I don't remember his name right off at the moment. But he Warnock is a reverend. He's the chief top head reverend of Ebenezer Baptist Church, and he's never run for office, but he's been a pastor for a long time, and he's running against, I said, Kelly Loeffler. They debated last night. I watched it. It was really fascinating. Kelly Loeffler looks like a robot, and she was really doing just all the talking points for the Republicans, calling every time she had a chance to speak about Warnock, she'd say radical liberal socialist Warnock, who, he's not a socialist. And I don't know his politics, but I bet he's not radical. I don't know. Anyway, so Warnock is running in a runoff election, and the elections are January 5th. And if Warnock wins and Ossoff win, then the Democrats will have control of the Senate, which means a lot more. Biden and Harris can get a lot more accomplished without opposition. So this is Warnock. He's from Savannah, Georgia, and he's a pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church, which is where Martin Luther King preached. I've been there. It's a really powerful place to visit. I love Atlanta. I've been there a couple times. See Martin Luther King's birthplace, to visit a friend. And then there's Ossoff, who has run before. Ossoff is from Atlanta, and he after college he interned for John Lewis, and then he became an investigative journalist. He's got a very long neck, I noticed. He did debate last night, but his opponent, Perdue, did not show up. They knew he wasn't going to show up, but they still left an empty podium I did not watch that. I forget when that was. Um, but as I said, Warnock has been in politics for a while. He ran in 2014 and he ran in 2017 again. And in 17, he came close as well. I forget who his opponent was, but he came so close that they had another runoff, but he did not win. So it's hard to know what's going to happen. I don't know. I have a friend in politics down there. She's a consultant, and Georgia is a very interesting place because it's so diverse in terms of race, and it's also extremely diverse in politics. You've got a lot of Republicans, Trump supporters, but you also have liberals, particularly in Atlanta area. But what else can I say? It's hard to know. I mean, Trump has sort of muddied the waters for the Republicans, but he went down there on Saturday, and the two opponents of these guys were on stage for about with Trump for about 2 minutes, and they were being shouted down by the crowd. The crowd was saying, "Fight for Trump, fight for Trump," and so particularly Purdue, was not able to say much because he was being shouted down. I'm gonna let this dry and see what you guys are saying because I don't want to bleed. Hi, Brett. Craig says he did a great job last night. He really did. He debated Kelly Loeffler. She seemed like a robot to me, just parroting the Republican line. And did I say this every time she introduced or she spoke to Warnock? She'd say radical left socialist Warnock. I'm waiting for it to dry. Let's turn this around. So I'll turn around and speak to you for a few minutes. So let me see what else I was going to say. So the runoff is January 5th, and today is the last day for registration for Georgians to register to vote. And then there's a advance voting, which starts December 14th, and then the actual election is the 5th of January. So I urge you to help in any way you can. I've given some money to some organizations. You can also write letters. Craig says, did I see the pictures of Loeffler of a wire? She had a wire on her? Oh, that kind of explains things. She sounded like she was being told what to say repeatedly. So the organizations I picked out, but you can Google, all I did was Google Georgia runoff elections. How do I help Georgia runoff elections? And you get a lot of answers. You get people advising you how to help through writing letters or making phone calls or whatever you feel comfortable with. But you can also donate money. And there's fairfight.com, which is the organization that Stacey Abrams founded to help combat voter suppression. Fairfight.com. There's another one I saw called newgeorgiaproject.org. And then also blackvotersmatterfund.org. And you can donate to them. And there's lots of other places you can donate as well. Just Google it. Hi, Kieran. Kieran is someone I know. I don't know him personally, but he's been my fan and my follower on Instagram. Hi, Kieran. Good to see you over here. Just subscribe to me. Thank you, Kieran, for subscribing. Let's see, who else is here? Yeah, it's so you can subscribe to me and you'll get notifications of when I'm going to go live and when I'm going to draw. And right now, because of the pandemic, I'm in my studio. Actually, I'm not in my studio per se now. I'm in the house. My studio is cold at the moment. I don't have a wood stove. I'm waiting for one. But sometimes I go out in the world and draw out in the world and draw events in away from my studio. So yeah, I do it every day. Sometimes I miss a day here and there, but every weekday at 5:30, I draw for you, and we talk about the news. Craig wants to know, where can one see your artwork? Well, you can go to my website, lizadonnelly.com, or you can go to Instagram. I post everything I do here is posted there for the most part, And also, I do a lot of writing and posting of drawings on medium.com. If you just go to medium.com and put my name in there, you'll see my page and you can follow me there and subscribe to me there as well. So I do write about these pieces sometimes. I write about other things. I write about cartoons and history of cartoons and political issues. So it's a place where I can write. And also the New Yorker. I've been working for the New Yorker for 40 years, and you can find me there, newyorker.com, and just put my name in the search box, and some things will come up. I've drawn for them and written for them over the years. So Craig, that's where you can find me. You can also Google me and see some images there. But those are my sites, and also Twitter at Liza Donnelly. So anyways, maybe this is dry now. I can turn around and paint for you. I ordered a new clamp for this live drawing thing so that it'll be higher up and I can go in landscape mode. So right now you see me in vertical, but soon I'll be able to go horizontal and you can see the whole thing. Also, I wanted to, is it dry? Yeah. Okay. It's hard to know what's going to happen. Put some color on this. Today is Pearl Harbor Day. So afraid it's going to bleed. Yeah, it's bleeding a little bit. I'll have to fix it on Photoshop. Sorry, guys. I did this on Instagram a few moments ago and it bled. I've been working with a new pen that I really like. It's a brush pen. And I thought it dried faster than this, but apparently not. I'll have to do their faces later. I think sometimes faces get, because I don't know. When I do eyes, sometimes the eyes hold the ink longer. So details. I don't know if you're interested in details, art details. I've been an artist since I was a kid, and I became a cartoonist on my own as a kid to make my mother laugh. Any of you guys cartoonists out there? And I grew up during the Watergate era, so I was really a bit fascinated with political cartoons and what they can do. And I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the Watergate era, but there were a number of great cartoonists in that time. And one of them in particular that I remember is Herbert Bloch. He was called Herb Bloch. That was his pen name. And he worked for the Washington Post, and he did a lot of cartoons about Nixon that I believe, along with the great reporting that the Times was doing, helped bring Nixon down. So powerful cartoons, political cartoons. And then, of course, there was Gary Trudeau, who did Doonesbury. You got anybody you remember Doonesbury? It's still going. Gary Trudeau is wrong skin color. He's a white man. I'll have to wait on that because I can't put the color in on their faces at the moment. Put some shading on this. My friend who's in politics in Georgia, she's a political consultant, so she's in that world. She said that people who speak out against Trump, it doesn't matter if they're Republicans or Democrats, they get death threats. I got to do this. remember when I was young and first learned how to do chunky letters like this, I was so excited. If you're interested in my pens, I often use a dip pen, which is one of these. This is an oldie but goodie. And I dip it in ink like that. Right now I'm looking for my very thin brush, this one. What was I saying? Anyway, political cartoons are my passion. There are not many papers left that have cartoonists. The one in the Washington Post just retired, the paper one. There's another cartoonist with the Washington Post, Ann Telnis, who's a friend of mine. She does cartoons on their web site for the Post. But a lot of papers, it's kind of so many of these cartoonists over the years have drawn for local papers, and meant for a local audience. But now with the internet, there's cartoons are global, and so color tie should I give him? I don't know. And anyway, papers have died. A lot of papers have gone out of business, so it's harder. There's not as many. I think there's like 30 paid staff cartoonist jobs, editorial cartoonist jobs in the country, down from, I don't know what the original number was. There's an organization called the American Association of Editorial Cartoonists. I'm on their board. It's a changing world. I do know the cartoonist for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution down in Georgia, Mike Lukovich. He's a great cartoonist. Look him up. I don't remember how to spell his last name, Mike Lukovich, but you can look up cartoonist for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And his work often gets out in national public. See, it just bled. I really should give up on these faces right now and fix it. I have to fix it in Photoshop. Normally, if I weren't doing this live, I would wait for it to dry and then paint it. So there's Warnock and there's Ossoff. So it's really going to be interesting to see. I don't know. A lot of people were telling Georgians not to vote because the Republicans, because they thought, well, it's a rigged election. Trump sort of made a mess of it before he went down there. And when he was down there, he was talking about how bad the elections, how rigged the election was. And many Republicans might think, well, why should I bother to vote if it's rigged? So we'll see what happens. We don't have any idea. Kieran says, the Irish Times have Martin Turner, who is a genius and worth you all checking out. And I will. He's a cartoonist, right, for the Irish Times? I will. Martin, Martyn Turner. Jill says, stayed in the Watergate long ago as a guest for an artist having a show. So strange. Was that after the Watergate trial or before? My father used to live, I grew up in Washington, and my father, when my mother separated, and he lived right near the Watergate, so I would drive by all the time. And I've been in the Watergate, like downstairs. They have shops down below it, like it's like a condo building. People live there, and they also have offices, as we know. And then there's the hotel. Is the hotel still there? It might have been taken down. The Howard Johnson's across the street where the burglars were. I love that history. It's really interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. Melis, you're a wannabe cartoonist. Well, great. I wish you well. Just keep drawing. That's all you can do, is just keep drawing. Keep drawing. Draw a lot. You're going to make mistakes, but don't worry about it. you have to do a lot of bad drawings to get to the good ones, to get better at it. Um, Brett says it feels like the last 4 years were days that will live in infamy. I think you're right, Brett. It's been such a strange 4 years, and I thought growing up during the Watergate era, I thought that was strange and that was weird. I was just in high school, so um, I was paying attention, of course, but it it it, it affected those of us who grew up with that. It affected our attitude towards government, I think. Um, but now I'm I've changed. I was very negative about the government when I was in college. I was more I voted, but I I just didn't think I didn't trust it in a way, because and that was because of Nixon, I believe. But I know there are a lot of great people who work in the government, and I know there's a lot of great patriots who serve our country, and I have nothing but um, respect for them. And I can't believe how hard they work, some of them. So I'm a patriot. And on that note, and happy, not happy, but Pearl Harbor Day is today. And my father served in the war. Not he didn't he was nowhere near Pearl Harbor, but I have great respect for those people who served in that war too. So anyway, I'm on a tangent, I think. Good to see you guys here. Thank you for joining me, and donate to help Warnock or Ossoff get elected if you're so inclined. And I will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, 5:30. And hope you guys are well, and hope you're wearing your masks. And stay safe, everybody. It's such a strange time and so dangerous right now. So please don't take any risks. Stay inside. Um, Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, everybody.